Hey everybody, this is Chief RBC, and this is a quick tutorial on getting up and running inside of Unreal. I'm going to continue to do a lot of these down the road, so stay tuned. We're going to have a few more coming up. First off, right off the beginning, as you open up into your Unreal projects, we're going to start a new project. Notice up here at the very beginning, you have a first-person flying handheld display. We're going to go on right to the beginning with a blank project, and we're just going to call this our test project down here, say where I want to, and then go ahead and create that project. Okay, now that we have our project up, we have a few things that we need to go over really quickly. First of all, if you want to just kind of get familiar with how to move around inside of Unreal, you just hold down the left mouse button and hold down the Alt key at the same time, and you can rotate around your objects. You can middle mouse button and move right and left, and you can use your right button to zoom in and out while you're holding down the Alt key. All right, so really quickly, just to kind of get familiar with this, if you look up here at the very top on this right hand side, you'll notice that we have our W, E, and R keys, which are used for move tool, rotate tool, and scale tool. If you look over to the right here, further over, you can see that you can snap to grid, you can snap to angle, or you can even enables you to snap objects to a scale grid as well. And I'll show you a quick example of that. If you notice over here, I have the modes window. If that window is not up in your scene, you just come underneath window modes, and this allows you to kind of create simple things like a cube, for example. I can just click that and drag it and put it in the scene. If I hit W, I can move it around. It gives me the gizmo to kind of move stuff. And to zoom in and out and fly around your scene, all you have to do is use the WASD keys along with holding down the right mouse button. So if I hold down the right mouse button and I hit the letter D, I can rotate around something while I'm turning the camera right and left. If I hold down the S, I can go the opposite direction. If I go W, I can zoom in, and come back and forth. So you can use those keys to kind of rotate around your objects. Sometimes people get inside here and they get a little frustrated because it's moving too fast, and so you just come up here to the very top and you rotate, or just not rotate, but slide this up and down. If you get it down to, like, for example, 2, you'll notice that zooming in goes a little bit slower and moving around your thing is a little bit easier. So just off the bat, you can kind of get an idea of how to move around inside of here and get used to it. I'm going to go quickly over a couple of these tabs over here. Notice that you have a details tab, and that's how you work and interact with objects and stuff. Here it gives you all your location, rotation, scale, mobility. This is where you would set things in order for lighting to be hidden on it. You have a static mesh and element and stuff like that, so you can kind of get an idea of where these things are. If you ever want to know what your shader is that's on it, you just double click on that shader and it will pull up a window, the basic material, with the inputs that are coming into it. All right, and I'm going to do a more in-depth into the shaders and materials, kind of give you an idea of how to do that. However, for this, we're just kind of getting familiar with it, knowing where it's at. If you double click on the cube over inside the details panel, you pulls up the editor that you can kind of look at and see what's happening inside with this particular mesh, and this is where you would do most of your edits on things. Go ahead and close that one. If you step over and you see the world outliner, this is basically the outliner of everything that's in your project. If you're familiar with Unity, this is going to be your project outliner. Okay, so and they are not combined together like in Unity where you click on one and all of a sudden you have the other one. Anyway, so you have your details and your world outliner, and then your modes. Modes is where you're going to give your lights, your cinematics, your visual effects, all your geometry, volumes, and all the things that you're going to need to work with. Inside the scene, as you come in, you also have a sky sphere. You notice I clicked up here in the middle of nowhere, and it clicks the sky sphere. The sky sphere can be edited and changed in any way you want to. You have a default light, a skylight, a volumetric fog, and then this little thing we're going to talk in depth about, which is a reflection sphere. But that's kind of a quick overview of how to get in and moving around inside of Unreal. All right, stay tuned for our next one.